guys, I am at Disneyland and I'm blitzing it. It's rope drop. Which ride am I gonna do first? Indiana Jones? Pirates? No. Space? Storybook Land. Everybody's beelining it to Peter Pan or other rides, but I'm going straight to Storybook Land, because if you're one of the first people to ride, there's something special you can do.
Roller up.
If you were the first one to ride the day, they let you sign a book. And every morning, the first people to ride the Storybook Land get to sign the book. How awesome is that? Oh my gosh. I'm having a hard time signing it because it's okay. Storybook Canals was one of the very first rides originally conceived by Walt Disney. When he first started thinking about that idea of creating a theme park, he wanted to create a theme park across from the studios in Burbank. And the first ride he came up with that he pitched was a canal ride. When Walt was in the Netherlands, he went on vacation in the Netherlands, he visited a tourist destination, and it's called, and I have to read it because I'm going to mispronounce it, it's called Madurodam. It's M-A-D-U-R-O-D-A-M. It's a touristy little thing, and what it was is a miniaturized village showing all these Dutch landmarks. Walt fell in love with that idea, and he really wanted to do that here at Disneyland, to have this miniaturized village showing all these world showcases. Remember that. Now this was an opening day attraction, but it wasn't called Storybook Land. It was opened on July 17, 1955. It was called Canal Boats of the World. Now Walt's vision was, he wanted to have all the different places around the world. He wanted like Mount Rushmore, Washington DC, like the Elizabeth Tower, Big Ben from England, like the Taj Mahal, to go through this whole thing. But they ran out of budget and there wasn't enough time. So when the ride opened up, there really wasn't anything to see. It got the nickname known as the Mud Bank Tour because there wasn't anything to see. They closed it down 3 months later in September of 1955 and did a complete rehaul of this ride and rethemed it as the Storybook Land. When Storybook Land closed down, Walt was disappointed, and when he started to retheme it, he really wanted it to be about going around the world. But they convinced him, says, you know what, we have all these great attractions and cool stories here within Disney, why don't we do that? So they made a miniature village of all these Disney attractions, which I think was the right decision. I don't think it, I know it was. It's amazing. As you go through, you can see a miniature village. A miniature village is done on a 1:12 scale, except Monstro. Monstro's not a 1/12 scale, but I don't know if you knew this. The reason this was put here, originally they were thinking about doing a Monstro the Well ride. Well. I don't know what to say about that. What have we here? But that was going to be an idea for a Monstro Well ride. They just put it over here for Storybook Land. And if you look carefully at Monstro's eye, you'll see his eye opens and closes. Yeah, it's like he's like winking at you. There he goes. There are 12 villages to this attraction. Ready? Let's go through them. The Big Bad Wolves, Peter Pan Park, Alice in Wonderland, Agrabah, Cave of Wonder, the French countryside and castle from Cinderella, plus the patchwork quilt from Lullaby, the Alpine village of Pinocchio, Prince Eric's castle, plus you look through the waterfall, you can see Atlantica, the cottage from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, don't forget Toad Hall, oh, and Arendelle, plus you can see the little sauna, yoo-hoo, summer blowout. This ride is amazing during the daytime, but I really would recommend trying to ride it at nighttime. The village, it lights up. Now, did you know that these villages, all those little doors and windows, there are little hinges on it. They can open and close them. It's for reals. That's how the Imagineers get in and change the light bulbs. Be sure to ride it at night. The ride lasts for about 6 minutes, and it is awesome. It tells all these different stories and all the different histories of Disneyland Park as you go through. It is really cool. Now, you gotta keep a really sharp eye out. Look at Geppetto's workshop. You see Geppetto's workshop? There's a little toy shop there, and inside the window, there are little teeny tiny toys and puppets inside that window. This ride is a perfect attraction for little kids. I mean, like, little kids, they love it. Storybook Land has 465,000 gallons of water. What? It's a lot of water. Now, the water is actually attached by tubes that go underneath pipes, underneath the surface. It attaches to the Sleeping Beauty's moat and the Rivers of America and Jungle Cruise. All this water is interconnected. There are 13 boats on this attraction. Alice, Ariel, Aurora, Belle, and Cinderella, Daisy and Fauna, Feline and Flora, Merryweather, Snow White, Tinkerbell, and Wendy. Now Disney, they only wanted female characters as the boat names. They made a mistake when the ride was first revamped as the Storybook Canals. They had 12 boats. One of them though was named Flower. Now, if you know this, Flower is the little skunk from Bambi, and it's a boy. So they ended up changing that name. When the ride first opened up, when it was the canal boats around the world, there were 8 boats. And those boats' names were Annie Oakley and Bold Lochinvar, Gretel and Lady Guinevere, Lady Katrina and Lady Shalott, and Lady of the Lake and Nellie Bly. Now, if you notice, there are 2 names for each country here. There are 2 American boats, 2 English boats, 2 French boats, and 2 Dutch boats. When the ride first opened, the boats were very heavy and they were battery operated and super heavy, and they could not reverse at all. So at the end of the day, they would have to like push the boats backwards into the cave where they could recharge them. And they broke down a lot. And that's one of the reasons the ride ended up closing only after 3 months. The boats were not reliable at all. Was this ride super sexist? I don't really know. I don't think so. Let me tell you what happened. Maybe going both ways, both for men and women. When the ride first opened up, Walt Disney only wanted men to work on this ride, just men. They wore wide-brimmed hats. He had 2 reasons for that thinking. The first reason was the boats had no reverse. They could not reverse. So at the end of the day, they were very heavy and they had to push them back into the storage area. And so Walt's like, men should be doing that. But the real reason is Walt felt that this story was a father telling a nighttime story to children, like at nighttime when you tell them a good night story. So he felt like it was a dad saying a good night story. So he wanted just men to be doing this. Eventually though, when they reopened the ride again, they had the reverse switch where they could reverse the boats. Once they started having the reverse switch, they started having women work on it, and then it became just an all-female ride. Only females could work on the ride until 1995 when they opened it up and says now it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. So originally just men, then it went to all women, and now everybody. This switch changed everything. This little switch right here, and now it has reverse. That changed everything on how this ride is operated. Each boat can have a maximum of about 14 people on it. Now there you can fit a little bit more if the people are real teeny tiny, lots of little children, but really the rule of thumb is 14 is the maximum amount of people you fit on this particular attraction. So I'm going to show you where the hidden Mickey is. Look right there on the smokestack of...
Hello everyone, I'm Amanda Provost. On our shop we have hoodies, we have shirts, we have socks, we have towels, we have pillows, we have mugs. Anything your little shopping heart desires, we have it. Woohoo! So go shopping. Bye. Thank you for supporting us.
Good morning and welcome. Get it? Welcome. Aboard, my friends. My name is Sarah. I will be your captain and storyteller for today. Also, parents, please supervise your children, and children, please supervise your parents, because we are now about to go into the jaws of Monstro the whale. But my friends, let me tell you, you are in luck. Monstro is not going to swallow us today. I fed him breakfast. You're welcome.
Here on the right is the oldest living tree in Disneyland. When your boat is approaching Pinocchio Village, you're gonna see the Alpine Mountains in the background. And what do you see? They perfectly align with what mountain? The Matterhorn, literally. It's like, so you gotta check that out. Make sure you look at Pinocchio's Village. Everybody's looking off at Arendelle. But look at Pinocchio's Village and look at the Alpine Range there, and what matches in perfectly with it? Matterhorn. Also, if you're a big fan of ducks, this ride has a lot of ducks on it.
We have the houses of the 3 little pigs. One house is made out of straw, one house is made out of sticks, and one house is made out of some guaranteed wolf-proof bricks. These houses protected the 3 little pigs from the big bad wolves, so they did not have to turn into the 3 little pigs in a blanket. And on your left, we are about to approach a small, quaint alpine village where Alice had followed the little white rabbit down, down, down. We have London Park in the middle. London Park is home to Peter Pan and the Darling Children, where they ended up in Neverland, and Neverland was a place they never had to grow up.
Why doesn't Peter Pan have his pilot license? Because he can never land.
And in the city of Agrabah, Aladdin was a street rattler, fell in love with the Princess Jasmine, and rebelled for the genie. They both got married, and now they live in that Sultan's palace together. We are now about to go underneath our magical archways, and let me tell you why they are so magical. Because these are the same exact ones that Aladdin and Jasmine had soared over, sideways, and under on their magic carpet to a whole new world. We're about to enter a cave of wonders. The genie lives in his lamp in the cave of wonders, and truth be told, my friends, if you set the genie free, he will grant you 3 and only 3 wishes. But before we enter the cave, let's all close our eyes and make a wish together in hopes that it comes true. I'm wishing for a churro. And as we exit our Cave of Wonders, on your right, you will see a small cottage of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs within. The Seven Dwarfs were so kind to Snow White as they let her live there while she led the queen herself. And if you listen closely, you can hear them whistle while they work. A top hour big. So right here you have Cinderella's castle, but unfortunately, my friend, she was not home before midnight. But for that pumpkin, it should be turning back into a carriage in about 1 to 3 business days. And for my friend Cinderella, she lives in there happily ever after with her Prince Charming. And on your left, you have our quilted bed of flowers. Our quilted bed of flowers was inspired by the 1933 Silly Symphony cartoon, Lullaby Land. And yes, I know what you're all thinking right now. Sarah, how do all the plants here in Storybook Land stay so small? And my, do I have the answer for you. Thanks to our lovely gardener Tinkerbell, she sprinkles a little bit of her pixie dust all over our plants so that they never have to grow up. Aww.
Motor cars going on a wild ride to nowhere in particular. And sure underneath the frozen mountain is the kingdom of Arendelle, where Elsa and Anna live. And with Elsa, Silver Ice Castle on the hill.
They've changed it and they added like Atlantica behind that waterfall right there. But when I was younger, they didn't have that. And they used to always tell a joke when I was little, and I loved it. They used to, as they go by, they'd say, we call that area Never Never Land because we never take you there. And we lost that joke through time. When Disneyland first opened, you would pay admission, but then you'd have to buy tickets, right? Tickets to ride the rides. Well, the Storybook Land, this was the old ticket booth where they would take your ticket to ride the ride. They restored it and now painted it as a giant lighthouse, but it's still here, one of the original ticket booths. The other ones are at, you got Alice in Wonderland, there's a giant mushroom, and Casey Junior Train, there's a ticket booth there. But that's it, a little memory. There are only 2 parks in the world that have a Storybook Land. There's here, Disneyland and Disneyland Paris. But Disneyland Paris is a little bit different. There's no narrator. There's nobody on the boat telling you what's going on. You have to read it on these books. Speaking of narration, there are only 2 rides in all of Disneyland where that has a person narrating the ride for you. Storybook Land and Jungle Cruise. Now some people might say, whoa, what about Haunted Mansion? There's a narrator there too. Yeah, but that's not a real person. That's a recorded stuff. So there's only 2 rides where they have a real person doing the narration. Storybook Land, Jungle Cruise. This ride, it's super quaint, it's really easy, it's really fun, but a lot of times children refuse to ride it because when they see Monstro out here, they're scared about going in the whale's mouth. It scares a lot of little children. You have to let them know, it's okay, there's no tell, you go right through into Storybook Land. If you need to convince your child to go on the ride, you can take them on Casey Jr.'s train and you can show them all of Storybook Land, you know, and then show them the tail where the boat comes out so they realize they're not going to be swallowed whole. You can see every part of Storybook Land from Casey Jr.'s train except the Aladdin's cage, the Aladdin's lamp. The Aladdin's lamp, the only way you can see that is if you're riding Storybook Land, but every other part of the ride you can see from Casey Jr.'s train. Riding Casey Jr.'s train gives you a perfect view of Storybook Land, but from a higher view. I love it. You can see the patchwork quilt even higher there. There's Alice in Wonderland. And now we're gonna go right behind the Alpine Mountains. There they are. That's the cave. You show the kids, that's where you come out of the tail of Monstro if they're scared. Now, if you look right here, you're gonna see these Alpine Mountains, and they're perfectly blended in with the Matterhorn. And there's Arendelle. The newest edition. And right there, you can see a boat. Little teeny tiny boat floating in the water. You can ride Casey Jr.'s train and see almost everything you can on the Storybook Land, but they don't narrate it, so I would definitely get on the boats. get on the boats. Bill, this is Amanda's second favorite ride. Okay guys, guess what? We are now gonna do, it's a Storybook Land at nighttime to show you how all the houses, they light up. It is so pretty, one of the prettiest rides at night. Okay, this is Gene Train, going right by the sign.